Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel Get Going Travel. We hope that our channel can inspire you to reach your travel goals step by step. We're moving to Australia and also doing 2 months of travel before we get there. So we had a lot of questions while preparing for this move and wanted to create this What About series to help answer those questions.
So our video today is about travel versus medical insurance and the vaccinations that we had to get, and this is going to be from the perspective of 2 American citizens traveling abroad. This was something that was a little bit daunting for us. We really didn't know what our options were, and we kind of also didn't know where to start. So we knew we needed some sort of coverage, but we weren't sure which was the right coverage for us.
Because this trip is both a combination of 2 months of travel away from the US, as well as a whole year living in Australia, we didn't really know if the travel insurance option would be the best for us, or if we should go with a global medical insurance plan.
In a nutshell, what we found is that travel medical insurance tends to be cheaper and also covers you in emergency situations, so for example, an evacuation. Global medical insurance plans tend to be more like what we have here in the US. They're designed for people who are expats, so setting up a life in another country, and need the type of coverage that they would have had when they were living in the US. And it also tends to be more expensive.
So we found a really helpful YouTube video, and that link can be found in the description below. It sort of weighs the pros and cons of different types of insurance for Americans traveling abroad. So be sure to check that out because we're not experts.
No way. After conducting our YouTube and Google searches, we landed on 3 options. The first was Cigna's global plan, the second was Alliance Healthcare, and then the third was World Nomads travel insurance.
We ended up purchasing the Cigna global plan, so that way we'd have any basics covered as well as any emergencies. So we just called the Cigna global toll-free number and we got our quotes. And for the exact plan we went with, it was the Cigna Silver coverage plan. So the Cigna Silver plan will cover us in every country that we're traveling to on our way to Australia, as well as when we're in Australia. And this plan will also cover us for up to 6 months when we're back in the US.
As of 2019, the US no longer requires American citizens to hold health coverage while traveling abroad. This is the main thing that motivated a lot of the travelers that we researched and the reason why they wanted to get health coverage. We don't have to worry about that rule anymore. We just for ourselves wanted to have coverage while we were traveling.
So we had our health insurance all planned out for the trip. So should anything happen on our journey, we can give Cigna a call and they can direct us to the in-network provider and they can help us out.
The next thing you might have questions on, and we definitely had questions on it, were the vaccinations that we needed based on the countries that we'd be traveling to. Health and wellness is a vital part to enjoying any type of travel, so it's just something we did not want to mess with. We each scheduled an appointment with our GPs and asked questions about what they'd recommend for vaccinations based on the countries that we were going to.
So in our itinerary on our way to Australia, the only 2 countries we needed vaccinations for were India and Vietnam. One of the vaccinations we needed was Hep A, which was a shot, and the second vaccination that we needed was typhoid. And those were some capsules that we needed to take. So for the both of us, each of those vaccinations were between $80 and $100, and our current insurance didn't cover that, so I was just out of pocket.
Just make sure you check if you're going to get vaccinations, whether or not they're covered, just to be prepared to pay. You'll want to start looking into vaccinations about 6 months in advance before you leave, because depending on what you're getting, you might need multiple rounds.
Our GPs also recommended that we talk to a travel clinic. The travel clinic could help us determine if we needed anything extra based on the time of year, the climate, things like that. But after doing our research and some more conversations, we decided that it wasn't really necessary to call a travel clinic. We covered the vaccinations that we knew we needed, so we hoped it will be fine.
So to recap, here are the steps to take when looking into medical coverage while traveling abroad. Step 1, decide where you'll be going, what you'll be doing, and any other activities that might factor into whether or not you'll need travel medical insurance or a more comprehensive global plan. Step 2, take a look at your current health coverage, your current financial situation, and your current health situation to decide what you'd feel comfortable spending and having covered while you're traveling. Step 3, talk to your GP, a travel clinic, and consult Google to see what vaccinations and coverage makes the most sense for you. Step 4, once you find out what vaccinations you'll need, make sure to get those ahead of time so you'll be all set and have nothing to worry about once you're ready to travel. Step 5, make sure you sort out your medical coverage before you leave the US. It's just going to make your life so much easier. Step 6, the bonus step. Make sure to re-up on any prescriptions you currently take to bring reinforcements for your trip. This one is easy to forget, but really important.
So thanks for hanging in there. That's a lot of information, but a really important thing to cover before your big trip. So we figured out our medical insurance and our vaccinations. We also wanted to understand what banks might work best for us during our trip to Australia. So in our next video, I'll outline what bank we'll be using on our trip and also what travel credit cards will really help us out.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram during our 2 months of travel on our way to Australia. We'll be posting there a lot over the next 2 months.
So if you thought that this video was helpful, please give us a like. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll be posting videos throughout our trip.